Today I'm creating a double-sided season sign as part of the Quick Change collab. So stay tuned to hear more about that and to see how I put this together. To make this sign, I took two of my, I guess they're like balsa wood rounds that I got from Amazon, and I used some hot glue and wood glue and just put them together. I used two. I wanted to make it, a little bit thicker, double strength or whatever, just so it'll last. So I'm going to do each side differently. I used my vinegar and steel wool on one side, and I'm just gonna wipe it off like with a baby wipe. That's what it looks like when it comes off. It doesn't look like that when it's done though. I really like how it turns the color of this particular type of wood when I use that. So I just do that on this side, and then when I flip it over, I use my mixture of dark walnut and natural from Minwax to stain the other side, and that's this right here. So I just use a paper towel here, and that's how I apply the stain. I didn't want to use a brush, so I just put a generous coat on there, wiping it on, wiping it off. If you stain wood, you know the drill. And I keep bumping my tripod. It wasn't my way. I was in a hurry, I guess. I don't know. So that's what that looks like with that layer on, and it really pulls out the grain of these wood rounds. So now and there's the side with the vinegar wash, and it really shows up a lot of that grain as well. But I'm going to work on this side first. So I'm going to tape off some areas and paint some stripes with my Waverly chalk paint in plaster. So I'm going to go ahead and tape off the little areas that I want to place my stripes. I want to do a thin one at the bottom, thin one at the top, and a thicker one in the center to help make my little design kind of stand out, as it were. So once I get my painter's tape down, I'm using Waverly chalk paint in plaster from Plaid Crafts. And now that they're dry, I can go ahead and peel them off and start running into things and moving my camera around. And yeah, so peeling off the tape, I can start working on the more detailed part of this project. Now I've got some thin cardboard from my Pepsi 12-pack and vinyl. I'm going to make popsicles. So I'm going to use lots of layers and popsicle sticks to make popsicles. So I spray painted this stuff white, and I have my letter or my popsicles basically cut out on my Cricut with permanent vinyl. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I will put down my stickers that spell summer, and then I'm going to cut them out, and then I'm going to layer a bunch more of this thin cardboard and those popsicle sticks to essentially create my popsicles. So you'll see what I'm talking about. I'll show you. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out and then get those ready for the rest of it. So what I did here was I went into my Cricut and I used the shape file for the popsicles to cut it out of the 12-pack box, my Pepsi 12-pack box. Now, I used a thin cardboard setting, I think, and I used more pressure, but I only did one pass through. I should have done two. So, lesson learned for me, using my Cricut Explorer 2 I use my deep cut blade, I should use 2 passes instead of 1. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm going to layer, well, I have 6 letters, I think I do six layers. I don't remember. It's been a while. Essentially, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to make them thicker, like a thick cardboard, like a chipboard, and so they'll pop off of the sign, you know. And then I'll use the popsicle sticks, and I'll cut those down to size. So, yeah, as you can see here, everything is layered and cut out. So now I have my little popsicle parts. And I forgot how to spell apparently. So here's an idea of what they'll look like, what I have in mind for this. So I'm just trying to figure out how long I want the little sticks to be, and then I'll use my miter shears to cut those to the length I want. And now I have my little welcome that I've cut out on my Cricut, and here I can kind of get an idea of where I want to place it in relation to where I want to place my popsicles. So I'm just kind of eyeballing everything together. Sorry about that glare. My overhead light's pretty bright. So that's kind of where I want it to go. And I had a heck of a time with this, but we'll just continue on and come back to that. Now I can go ahead and get the welcome placed down. I tell you, sometimes working with this stuff is hit or miss. I like the transfer tape sometimes, and sometimes I hate it. Sometimes I like the vinyl I'm working with, sometimes I hate it. I don't know. I guess it's one of those, you know, you gotta use it and figure out the right combinations of it. But it's on there. So now I can continue and figure out how I want to apply my popsicles. And I think I'm going to like make them a little off kilter and just a little, you know, like, you know, just a little crooked and fun. I didn't want to give it too much of a linear look, I don't think. I mean, summer's all about being crazy, right? So let's make it crazy. And I'm going to trim these down with my miter shears again. And then I can start hot gluing all this stuff down. So I'll just fly through here and glue these down. I don't really think you need a tutorial on how to do this. So I just use my hot glue, Surebonder glue sticks, and plop those down there. And the same with the little popsicle sticks. I just kind of slide them under. I made a little lip on those to kind of hide that where it goes together. And just glue those down. And cute little popsicles. If I'd have thought about it and had colored glue sticks, I'd have made them drippy, but oh well. So on to the final part of this one, where I make the bow. And I'm going to use some more cardboard and these Velcro sticky dots, because here's the thing, it's supposed to be a reversible sign, okay? And it's kind of hard to reverse your sign if you got a big old honking bow on both sides, right? So I thought to myself, why don't I just take a Velcro sticky dot on either side, and then I can just pull the bow off of one side to flip it around to the other and have the bow on the other side, or, you know, whatever. I thought it was a pretty good idea. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So the bow I'm making for this side, I got this fabulous wired ribbon at the Dollar General. It's a satiny ribbon, but look at the chameleon effect that the edges have. It's really very cool. So I'm just kind of deciding how long I want it. And y'all, I don't really do bows. I mean, I can make them look okay. I'm not like some of our other awesome crafty counterparts who are just fabulous with bows. Mine are good enough. And I'm okay with that. It's okay. I'm fine with it. They serve their purpose and they work. So I'm not a I don't know. I'm just not a bow person usually, so. But, you know, it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and construct my bow for the summer side of this sign. So what I've done here is I've taken my little Pepsi cardboard and my little sticky dot there, and I'm going to hot glue the bow to that cardboard. I thought it would work better than just gluing the sticky dot to the bow itself. And I guess I'm giving it another little fluff here. But I wanted to give it a kind of something a little sturdier. If I'm taking it off and putting it back on, taking it off, putting it back on, at least want to give it a little bit of a platform so it doesn't, like, you know, just kind of start tearing apart. So that's where I'm at there. And apparently I wasn't happy with how it looked because I fussed with it. And here we go. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue this. And I don't know why I did it that way. I could have cut it thinner or shorter or whatever. Hindsight, you know. So just taking my hot glue gun, I'll go ahead and keep fussing with the bow and ripping it apart. Okay. All right, I got it now. It's fixed. So, gluing it down. I think this was my third attempt, actually. Gluing it down to that little tab, I guess, cardboard tab with my sticky dot there on the back. Letting that set up a little bit. And the daisy that I'm going to use will hide, you know, it'll hide what's left there. And I should have made the bow a little bigger because I wasn't really thinking of the size of the daisy at the time. It kind of engulfs the better part of the bow. So it was just like flower and a little bit of ribbon. But that's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. And I got those flowers at the Family Dollar. And, you know, they were a pretty nice selection of Gibber daisies. They're pink and orange, which if you watched my Small Creator Sunday, you saw I used some of those. So I just let that sit, and then it's sticky on the Velcro, and the front side is done. There it is. And then I can take that off whenever I want to flip it over to this side, which we're going to do next. This video is part of the Quick Change Collab, and this is hosted by Teresa B DIY. And she thought it would be cool to do a reversible or changeable decor. I guess since we're, I mean, we're pretty much in the beginning of summer, but a lot of people are already starting to work on fall stuff. And, you know, just something that you can use off and on, you know, throughout the year. Changeable decor, reversible is actually a really good idea, and it saves money. I mean, you don't have to make something else. You can just flip it over and boom, there you go. So the link to the playlist and to Teresa's channel will be in my description box below. So go check out all the rest of the crafts in this playlist. They're going to be awesome. So let's get back into and see the second side of this craft. So I did stain, but I'm going to whitewash now. I've never really done it, so I don't know if I'm doing it right. So I just took a little bit of that chalk paint and added some water to it, and I'm just going to brush it on. When I originally designed it, I thought I was going to paint the other side entirely white, but I didn't really want it white. I don't know. I wanted it to be more in line with like fall stuff. I don't know. You know, it's funny. I don't like doing wood crafts very much, but I do a lot of wood crafts. I don't know. So here I'm just painting it on, and then I'm wiping it off, painting it on, wiping it off. I didn't exactly get the look I was going for in this, and you'll see, you know, after it's done, but it worked out in the end. So, you know, it is what it is. But I just go on and do this through the whole thing, and I ended up actually giving it 2 coats in total, but I won't bore you with all those details. So I'll just go ahead and jump to when it's dry. And there it is. It's dried. There's 2 coats here, and you still get some of that wood look through it. So like I said, designed it, and this is how I have it set up in Cricut Design Space there on my phone. So I'm using that as a reference to know where I want to make sure everything gets placed. So, I don't even want to talk about the transfer process. I'm just gonna do it. So I was trying not to cut up a bunch of new transfer tape. I just wanted to use what I had out already, and I probably should have got fresh paper, or fresh transfer tape, but it's okay. So just using my phone as a reference there, and I can go ahead and lay it out where I want it. So I'm speeding through and going ahead and laying down my vinyl. Still using my phone and my design space as a guide on where I want it. And I got it pretty close. It's not exact, but it's pretty darn close, really, to where I had it laid out in design space. So, and I did it on my, I love using design space on both my phone and my computer because I can open the same project on either one. I can have them both open at the same time, which is what I was doing here. And the little apostrophe, because hey, we're in Texas, and y'all is synonymous with Texas. So so I've got that done. Now I want to add my 2 little leaves. And did I use transfer tape for these? Yeah, I think I did to help place them. I don't remember. Anyway, I get them put where I want them. And I'm just kind of layering them over each other a little bit. I don't remember. It's been a few days since I did this. I'm voicing this over on the 29th, and it's the first you're watching this, and I probably finished it 3 days ago. Y'all, it's been a long couple of weeks for me. I don't know. I just kind of had to decompress away from everything, and I started re-binging the X-Files, so get out of my head for a while. I don't know. I say that a lot too. I don't know. But I think this is super cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get my leaves placed. And there, I got them sorted. So now we can continue. And no more rambling. Sorry. So just pressing those down. I don't really feel like I need to use I don't think I use my scraper at all. Yeah. This vinyl, I can't remember if this is one I got from Amazon or if it's one I got from my craft source, but it's really nice vinyl. There, see? That's pretty good. It's pretty much spot on to the design I had in mind, so I just want to make sure it's right. Yep, looks good. Okay, so next is for the bow up top. And it's fall, so we're using buffalo check and some burlap to make the ribbon for this one. And I'm kind of like the other one. I'm just grabbing some lengths of it and I'm just going to throw it together. Nothing special, nothing fancy, nothing perfect, just rustic fall farmhousey, I don't know, farmhouse, shabby farmhouse. Is that a thing? That's probably what I'm doing here. If it's not a thing, it's going to be a thing now. I don't know. So I'm going to just go ahead and get my bow put together. All right, my bow is almost done now. I just need to put my favorite flower, my all year long flower, but usually a fall flower, the sunflower, right in the center. And just like with the first bow, I'm taking my little piece of cardboard to glue to the back, put the sticky Velcro dot up there in the center to hold the bow and to remove the bow for when I need to flip it around. I mean, I suppose you could leave it up, but I mean, you know, why? And I do end up putting these on all kinds of wrong at first, and I did not center it right, and yeah, it was a whole thing, but that's fine. It's okay because I fixed it. It's okay now. So I'll go ahead and glue it all together. And now that it's ready to go, I get my sunflower glued right there in the middle of the pretty little bow, which is a bit different than the other one. I put my my dovetail tails out to the side instead of hanging down, and just putting it right in the middle, and I'm out of frame because I wasn't paying attention, so sorry. This is real life, y'all. This is how it happens sometimes. So I let that sit, and it is almost completely finished. And you see my messy table. Ignore all that. It's a mess in my tripod. Ah, there we go. Hey, I got it. So there's that. But how am I going to hang it? Well, I will show you. I need to do something about that. So I'm going to take some of this white macrame cord, and it's going to serve two purposes. First, it's going to hide that edge where I glued the two pieces together, and it's also going to provide me the little loop to hang this up. So I'm just going to hot glue this down all the way around, and it's blurry because yeah. And then when I get to the top, I'll make a little loop and glue around the rest of it. So here you can see I'm just making my little loop, and I will hot glue everything together, and that will be the hanger for this. So there's my little loop, and that will be how I hang it up. And as you can see, I'm going to take my bow for the fall side, hang it up there like that. If I want to do the summer one, I'll flip it over and use the bow that I made for the summer side. There's the bright and colorful welcome summer side of this sign. I think I'm going to change the bow, maybe, if I decide I want to keep it and use it. Popsicles and bright colors, they just say summer, literally. And now let's see what the other side has to offer. And there's the happy fall y'all side, my favorite season, my favorite flower, and I really like the final result of this one. Make sure you check out the rest of the playlist. Remember, that's linked in my description box along with Teresa B DIYs. Thank you so much, Teresa, for this awesome collaboration. Go check out all the rest of the playlist. Spread the YouTube goodness with likes and comments. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your comment below. Let me know what you think of this. Thank y'all for watching. Take care. Bye.